Hi, fellow entrepreneurs. This is Louisa, and today I am talking about one of the most common questions that we get as direct sales leaders, which is, how do I get bookings? Or I can't get bookings, what do I do? So we often hear as entrepreneurs that success is between your ears. Or you might hear successful people think differently. So sort of the mystery has been, okay, so what is that and how do I get it? How do I think that way? How am I supposed to think? So the beautiful thing is, in the last 10 to 15 years, brain research has really learned a lot about how does our brain work and how do you really utilize it to its potential to get what you want. So I'm going to talk briefly about what I mean by the autopilot brain, and then we'll dive into what does that mean for using the power of your brain to get the bookings that you want. So if you think of your brain, 5% is our conscious brain and 95% is what I call the autopilot brain. So that conscious part is when we are making conscious decisions, when we are deciding to take action, that kind of thing, that's only 5% of our brain. And the 95%, so much of our brain power, is the unconscious part. Again, the beauty is that thanks to the latest brain research, we've learned how do I use the unconscious part to my benefit. So super simple analogy, if you think of a wagon with 20 horses hitched to it, okay? That's your brain. So one of those horses is your conscious brain, and 19 of those horses are your autopilot brain. So wouldn't you love to know, how do you get those 19 horses going in the same direction that your autopilot brain is going? So if you've ever thought, oh, I know what I should do, but I just don't seem to be able to get myself to do it, this is how you do it. Okay, sound good? So how does that apply to bookings? What I have found is there are three areas that we're going to talk about that you want to get your horses going in the right direction. So first of all, we're going to talk about how do you confidently feel like asking, and then secondly, how do you direct your autopilot brain toward the right people? So our autopilot not only determines what we feel like doing, it determines our reactions, it determines how words come out of our mouth, it literally determines who and what we notice, okay? So because there's so much going on around us that there's a filter, reticular activating system, if you want to get technical about the psychology term, that filter determines what we notice. And then our autopilot also determines what is our action that we take based on what we notice. So when you say to yourself, I can't find anybody who wants to book, I can't get bookings, that stores in your brain as a picture, and your filter then is actually noticing people who have no desire to host a party for you. That's all you see. It filters out all the people that would be amazing hosts that are passionate about our products. It filters them out so that you don't even notice them, or you're not inspired to talk to them. It inspires you to talk to people who would be really bad people to ask, okay? So if you can get your autopilot focused on people that would be really good to ask, that's going to be your power. But first we want to get you set up so that you feel like asking, and you're asking in a very authentic, empowered, a way that feels really good. Another thing that we hear sometimes is, I don't want to be salesy. And the funny thing is, when that picture is stored in your brain, when you say that to yourself, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be salesy, our brain thinks in pictures. So it's thinking of the picture of salesy. The brain doesn't store don't, okay? So that means that your words come out salesy instead of coming out authentically and with your passion for what you're doing. So let's talk about how we reorganize those other 19 horses. The first one is to get really clear about where it fits in your life. So I think often we think, okay, well, when I find someone that wants to book, then I'll figure out when. And I'm really flexible, I can fit it in anywhere. The thing is that our autopilot at that point is, if I get a booking, I'll fit it in. Do you hear that your autopilot is actually that you don't feel like you're that likely to get a booking, or you feel like other people are controlling your business? So if you can sit down and say, no, let me get really clear on what does my ideal business look like? What works for our family? Is it one night a week? 2 nights a week? What nights is it? Is it every other Saturday? What is your ideal business? And if you can sit down and block those dates in your calendar, and then the secret is those are the days that you work. Whether someone has hired you to do a party that night or not, that's when you sit down and work. And if a party is not booked, or if a party cancels, then you're sitting down and working on your business. Either you're doing training to inspire you, you're making a list of people that you have been wanting to talk to, you're talking to your previous customers, you are working those dates. And that provides the clarity that when you're talking to people about whatever business, whatever product, then you are ready to say, you know, my next available date is, and you are so much more likely to get the person in a conversation that's going to lead to a booking. So the second thing is to feel like asking without being salesy. So a lot of people, when they start a direct sales business, have a feeling of, okay, but I'm asking people to do me a favor so that I can make money. So you need to get really clear in your autopilot what service you are offering, that you are offering to educate people about these products that make a difference in lives. And so sit down and write down what are all the positive things that happen in the world when someone hosts a party. How does it benefit the host? How does it benefit the host family? How does it benefit the planet? How does it benefit people's health, and their house? So sit down and write those things out, because handwriting is a shortcut to programming those 19 horses that make up your autopilot brain. So that's the second thing. First thing is to get super clear on your calendar. What dates are you working? What dates do you want to fill? And by the way, like, you're a very flexible boss, right? So if something comes up on a date that you've blocked to work and you're not, don't have another host depending on you, you just ask your super flexible boss, hey, let's trade a date. Let's move to a different date, right? That's totally fine. You're very flexible, but having a framework for, yes, I am in business, that makes you so much more likely to have that business come to you, because your 19 horses are also going in that direction. So calendar, write down a list of all the good things that happen in the world so that your words come out as if you are offering a valuable service instead of asking people for a favor. And then the third thing is to get yourself to notice the right people. So again, you're going to sit down, you're going to have handwriting be your friend, and you're going to make a list of what are the ideal characteristics of people that you want for hosts. And a lot of times it's people that are passionate about whatever it is you're sharing. Because if they are inviting people with passion and excitement, it's a whole different ballgame. You want people that enjoy having people over to their home, or if you're doing online parties, you want people that are very socially active online, so people are used to communicating with them that way. And maybe people that are involved in several different social circles, like maybe they're involved in their community or at church or at school or whatever. Again, that doesn't mean that you're going to turn somebody down if they don't all check your boxes, but you are programming your autopilot brain to see those people. So if you do those 3 things to program your 19 horses, you will be absolutely blown away at how your business grows.